I finally got every trophy in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, and it was easier than I was expecting. Five Nights at Freddy's is a game franchise that transcended the genre, becoming a household name within months of its first game's release, and now it inhabits every medium imaginable. The games have made online careers far greater than before, they've driven many noble men to insanity, and whether we love them, like them, or loathe them, they're not slowing down anytime soon. When the first Five Nights at Freddy's game came out, it was revolutionary. When the second game came out, it was a worthy sequel with ridiculous difficulty. When the third game came out, it was a worthy sequel with far less ridiculous difficulty, hence why I'm willing to take on this 100%. I never finished my YouTube playthrough of FNaF 3 beyond the first episode, but I have plenty of experience in this game regardless. Years ago, I got every trophy in this game on console except for the Aggressive Nightmare trophy, which I have never done on console or PC, which is this game's 2020-2020 equivalent, and it's about time that I correct that fact. I beat FNaF 1's hardest custom night a few months ago on this channel, and you guys did vote for this sequel, so without further ado, let's dive back into the madness. Night 1 is the easiest trophy in gaming history. As long as your console doesn't crash, you win. Nothing happens. Night 2 is where we meet Springtrap for the first time, the lovely box art bunny, and where we actually need to start playing the game. He's the only animatronic that can actually kill you in FNaF 3, and you need to lure him around the map via audio cues, while stopping him from venting like the sus imposter. Among Us! While dealing with him, you also need to manage the budget cuts of your building, as none of the equipment you have stays working for longer than a minute. You run out of audio charges quicker with each night, with only 2 of them in nights 5 and 6, your cameras bug out when you use them for a certain amount of time, and the very air you breathe goes bad after a minute at most on the later nights. Making all of this even harder are the phantom animatronics, but we'll get to them later. They only become a real problem on nights 5 and beyond. What became a problem immediately was going for the true ending of the game, which obviously has a trophy. In FNaF 3 PS4 edition, you don't get the trophy for the bad ending if you get the good ending, requiring you to do a full game data deletion and play through the game again, as I and many others found out the hard way. Therefore, just beat the game without doing the extra steps first to get the bad ending, then do the good ending second if you want the optimal route for completion. I already have both trophies, so I don't need to do any of that. One playthrough is enough for me. As for getting the true ending itself, you need to go to the left corridor during the Atari minigames in between nights, where you get cryptic clues towards unlocking additional secret minigames that must be completed for the true ending to unlock. On PC, these all involve clicking various elements hidden throughout Fazbear's Frights on nights 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, there's a slight problem with that on console. I'm using one of these. What do I click with? The PSN Profiles guide is mostly correct on the alternative buttons you press, but in some cases it is just plain wrong. I had to scour the internet to find the answers, including on Reddit. Once we've done both the minigames in night 2, we then beat the night normally. I used to beat this game from nights 1 to 6 for fun when I was 14 on a bad laptop while half paying attention, so this shouldn't be a problem for me. Night 3 took me a long time because I had to figure out what buttons you needed to press in order to click the cupcakes. After that, it was an easy dub. Night 4 has the most complicated minigame of all, this weird ass Golden Freddy one. I was able to beat it off of pure memory, but the general tips are just to jump around everywhere you can and hug every ledge, and maybe you'll get to the end someday. Night 4 was wrapped up shortly afterwards. Night 5's minigames are super easy. See Shadow Bonnie on the right, do that game, go to the puppet poster on Cam 3, do that minigame, and the happiest day ending is unlocked. Now we just need to beat Night 5. It took me almost an hour. I don't know what happened, I just fell apart. I felt the pressure here far harder than I did during the early nights of FNaF 1. I couldn't balance all my systems and I got constant overlapping errors. I ended up quitting and restarting my nights quite a lot whenever I got put in a situation like that, as I wasn't confident in my ability to recover from an almost certain game over. I was using the strategy of keeping Springtrap at Cam 10 with Vent 14 preemptively sealed, and it just wasn't sticking. Eventually though, I did beat it and I got the good ending. On a side note, the console music replacement for this good ending screen really does make it feel a lot more eerie, less of a good ending and more foreboding. I mean, as we know, this isn't the end of the story, not even close, but I found that interesting. Now, onto Nightmare, which again, took me the better part of an hour. It's just night 5, but much harder, mostly. Ventilation errors don't naturally occur unless you idle in the office or get jump scared by a phantom. So as long as you stay busy and don't see one of these watermelon heads, that's one less thing for you to worry about. Oh yeah, the phantoms. Illusions that jump scare you once per night under certain conditions. Chica is triggered by an arcade on cam 7 if you don't switch quickly. Freddy is triggered if you look at him for too long while he's in front of your office window. Mangle is triggered on cam 4. Balloon Boy is triggered on cams 1, 7, 9 and 10 if you don't switch in time, and Phantom Puppet gets triggered on cam 8 and blocks you for so long you're almost guaranteed a game over. Oh, and Phantom Foxy just gets you whenever he wants. It was on this night that Springtrap first actually killed me, because for once I chose not to restart upon being put in a losing situation and I needed to get killed in order to hypothetically get the trophy. Witness his fearsome jump scare.
Hello there.
Speaking of restarting, I did it so much during the nights that I encountered 2 glitches. The first case was when I quit during the middle of a Phantom Puppet jump scare. At the start of my next night, he showed up straight away, as to remind me how much I sucked at the game. I spawned into the jump scare. For the second example, Phantom Foxy began spawning at the start of my runs, causing an instant jump scare and ventilation error. Restarting the FNaF 3 game from the home screen fixes this issue, but there's a chance you could use this to your advantage. Each Phantom can only show up once per night, so getting the jump scare straight away will stop you from having to deal with them later, but I didn't think to use that. In any case, I eventually won with my Cam 10 strategy. Good job me, I was finally able to live up to the legacy of 14-year-old Matt. Now that we have 3 stars, we unlock the cheat menu. We have radar, no errors, fast nights, and aggressive. Aggressive is the important one here, upping Springtrap's rate of activity immensely. Nightmare Night with that cheat on is the 2020-2020 mode of this game. I did a practice run with fast nights and radar active as well as aggressive, and it still took me more than 1 try to win. Springtrap's movement speed is crazy. I knew I was in for a rough time. And so, with trepidation, I began my proper attempts at aggressive Nightmare mode. It took me around 20 minutes.
What?
Yes, this took far less time than regular Nightmare, or even Night 5. Was it because I was actually willing to try playing through a bad situation instead of immediately restarting? Was it because I learned the game mechanics and changed my strategy? Did I get lucky? The answer to all of that is yes. There were 2 key things I learned that changed my experience. For one, Springtrap can't actually enter the vents until 1 AM, so I could solely focus on finding him on the cameras, listening to his walking audio, and fixing my errors. For 2, it's actually better to keep Springtrap close to you on the map. At camera 10, there's the insta-kill vent 14, and the nearly insta-kill vent over at cam 9. If he gets in one of those and you can't block it in time, your run is over. In addition, there's Phantom Balloon Boy to deal with, and Phantom Puppet is waiting on cam 8. Instead of dealing with all that, I watched the guide by TheBones5, who taught me what I needed to know to come up with a strategy. Whenever Springtrap is at cam 5, 4 or 3, a noise starts playing. Whenever he's at cam 2 or at your window, a louder noise starts playing. Keeping your ears out for that helps us detect where he is even if the cameras are glitching out. If Springtrap is at cam 5, seal that vent preemptively and listen for the noise to change. If it gets louder, he's in cam 2, which is where your winning strategy can start. If the noise stops, he's gone to cam 6. Seal the cam 7 vent ahead of time and continue to monitor him. If he gets to cam 2, seal the vent ahead of time, then just keep your camera on there. Flip your camera on and off constantly to prevent camera errors as much as possible, as well as ventilation errors, and watch this bastard closely. If Springtrap moves in front of your window, which he has to do in order to get to the point where he can kill you, play audio on cam 2 to bring him back. He has no options from here. He can't get past your window as long as you can play audio, and he can't get through the vent to kill you because you sealed it off. If he wanders back to cam 3, 4 or 5, you're in a safer position and you can go back to tracking him normally. Don't check cameras 3 and 4 because you don't want to risk the mangled jump scare. Ideally, you want Springtrap to stay at camera 6 or 5 at minimum. Don't let him wander up to 8, 9 or 10 if you can help it. With all that being said, I found this night surprisingly easy. I was stressed, sure, but I felt in control. It took me less than 10 proper tries with my new strategy, and my actual run was fairly lucky, as this idiot went into the sealed camera 7 vent like 3 times in a row, giving me free audio and camera reboots every time he did, as he still can't move that fast. I didn't even need to dramatically stare him down at 5 AM. My run went that well. I can't promise luck, but when I'm blessed with it, I will certainly take it. All of these factors, including my new strategy, made Aggressive Nightmare a decently fun challenge to complete. So long, William Afton, may you burn in hell. For like the 5th time, I've lost count. And with that, the FNaF 3 100% is mine. It feels good to finally beat the hardest challenge in this game, seeing as this may just be my favourite FNaF game to actually play. FNaF 1 can be a bit monotonous, seeing as you're just looping in a pattern for a long time, and FNaF 2 is a chaotic mess. FNaF 3 actually makes you use the camera system. There are different strategies to try regarding Springtrap and what cycle you prefer him in, and I am a big fan of the lore that this game provided. Aside from the controller workarounds you need to do to access the secret minigames on console, and the challenge of Aggressive Nightmare, this is a pretty easy 100%, and I'd even argue it can be a fun one to do. Now, will I finally 100% FNaF 2?
No! No! No!
Thank you everybody for watching yet another MattTGM trophy hunt. This one was voted by you guys to be part of my 5 videos of December, so I hope it lived up to expectations. Thank you so much for the support on the channel lately, especially the Black Myth Wukong boss ranking. That surpassed my expectations by a mile. I've been very much enjoying interacting with you guys in the comment sections, so please let me know your thoughts on this video down below. I hope you're excited for the last 2 videos of December, an archetype analysis and my end of year update video. If you feel like I've earned it, please like and subscribe, and maybe even check out my Patreon. If you have any other games you would like me to trophy hunt, leave them in the comment section below, and maybe I can make that happen. With all that said, I think we're done here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.